I came here, I don't know, 1990 when I was like 21 years of age or
Wow.
something like this. And it was one of the first places I visited. I mean, I came here.
Daniel Rotten Craig grew up far from tuxedos and martinis. Born in Chester in 1968 to a teacher and a former merchant Navy seaman turned pub landlord, he learned early what work looked like. After his parents split, he moved with his mum to Liverpool, got hooked on performance at the Everyman, then left school at 16 for the National Youth Theatre. London meant double shifts, waiting tables to pay for classes at Guildhall until graduation in 1991. The first roles weren't glamorous. The Power of One, a BBC miniseries here, a stage play there, but he kept stacking bricks, one job at a time, building a craft that would survive trends and typecasting. And it's that stubborn foundation that lets him hold the screen the way he does now. We'll come back to why the stage still matters for him. The Bond gamble and the payoff. When producers tapped Craig to reboot 007, the blowback was instant. Too blonde, too rough, not the tuxedo fantasy. Then Casino Royale hit, and the noise stopped. The film cracked $500 million at the box office and won over critics who didn't think the franchise could still surprise them. Over 5 films, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die, Craig's Bond hauled in billions, with Skyfall alone topping $1 billion worldwide. The paycheck scaled with the stakes, low 8 figures climbing toward the stratosphere by Spectre and No Time to Die. By the time he closed the dossier in 2021, Craig hadn't just played Bond, he had redefined him for a new generation. The Benoit Blanc era had a pivot without starting over. Actors often chase the next Bond. Craig chose the opposite, a left turn into Rian Johnson's modern whodunits. Knives Out proved Blanc's molasses drawl and laser brain could carry a global smash. Glass Onion kept the streak alive. Now Wake Up Dead Man raises the bar again. A locked room-style impossible crime, a starry ensemble, and Craig styling Blanc with a fresh 3-piece look and longer hair. The rollout is classic event storytelling. Festival premiere, short theatrical run from November 26, Netflix worldwide December 12, designed to spike word of mouth and holiday viewing. It's not nostalgia, it's reinvention on a schedule. Home turf, where he actually lives, works, and rests. Craig lives the way he works, practical, not flashy. He and Rachel Weisz have split their time between New York and London for years. Tribeca apartments, a Brooklyn townhouse, and a London base that fits school runs and script reads more than paparazzi photo ops. The real luxury is privacy, places to shut the door, make dinner, and be parents without the glare. He's the guy who'll duck into the local pub, not parade a super yacht. But he's a genuine sports tragic, Liverpool on TV when he can get it, and trips as a fan to see the British and Irish Lions when schedules allow. The point isn't secrecy, it's normalcy, guarded on purpose. The money philosophy. Earn big, live grounded, give it away. In 2025, estimates still peg Daniel Craig's net worth around $160 million. Bond residuals, franchise salaries, Netflix deals, endorsements, and real estate all in the mix. But here's the twist. He's on record saying he finds old-school inheritances distasteful. His stance is simple. Use it while you're alive or give it away. It's not asceticism, it's a value system. Make the work good, make the home life sane, and don't confuse the balance sheet for a legacy. For an actor who rebuilt Bond into a bruised human figure, that outlook tracks. The story you leave behind matters more than whatever sits in an account.
Why the stage still calls and sharpens the blade. Even with film superstardom, Craig keeps returning to theater because live work is where instincts stay sharp. His 2022 Broadway run in Macbeth with Ruth Negga wasn't an awards-bait detour. It was another lap in the gym, pushing voice, presence, and stamina without cuts or second takes. Reviews were mixed. Some critics loved Negga's ferocity, others wrestled with the production's style. But the value for Craig was in the reps. On stage, you can't hide. No stunt doubles, no editors. That pressure, renewed every night, feeds back into the camera work, keeping Blanc's micro-expressions crisp and Bond's scars believable, long after the shoulder holster is back in the wardrobe. Routine, training, and the boring stuff that actually works. The tabloid version of a star's life is cars and carpets. Craig's version is scheduling and recovery. The Bond years rewired his daily operating system: strength cycles to protect joints, mobility to keep hips and back loose, clean, protein-forward meals most days, and enough sleep to reset. On Blanc, the dial turns down on max output stunts, but charisma takes conditioning too. Endless press, premieres, and filming days where a single scene lives or dies on facial nuance. He doesn't pretend it's glamorous. He treats it like a pro athlete handles a season. Prepare, execute, recover, repeat. The result is what you see in 2025, a performer who looks comfortable in his own skin, moving from franchise to franchise without flaming out. What comes after 2 franchises? He doesn't telegraph the future. That's intentional. The post-Bond decade could have been an arms race of bigger explosions and louder posters. Instead, Craig planted a flag in something tonal and character-driven. Mysteries built on voice, timing, and audience trust. If Wake Up Dead Man lands the way early chatter suggests, twistier, darker, and more emotional, it gives him runway to keep Blanc evolving without repeating himself. And if he wants a left-field passion project, the theater door is always open because he never closed it. That's the quiet superpower here: optionality. He's engineered a career where he can say no often, say yes selectively, and still hold the global spotlight when it matters. The 2025 moment: red carpets, family calendars, and a December drop. The Wake Up Dead Man run is a precision-timed machine. Festival premiere September 6th, a Turkey Day theatrical bow November 26th, then a Netflix blast December 12th that turns holiday couches into Blanc's interrogation room. The ensemble is stacked: Glenn Close, Andrew Scott, Josh Brolin, Kaylee Spaney, Kerry Washington, Jeremy Renner, Josh O'Connor, and Craig sits calmly at the center, the eye of the storm. Behind the cameras, his life looks normal: school logistics, a partner whose own career dictates its own rhythms, and a rule that the work serves the home, not the other way around. He shows up when it counts, then he goes home. That's the 2025 lifestyle in a sentence. Daniel Craig's lifestyle in 2025 isn't a parade of toys, it's a blueprint for staying powerful without becoming predictable. He built a career from the ground up, shouldered a franchise that could have typecast him for life, then stepped cleanly into a new identity that lets him act, not just pose. He earns huge and lives quietly. He trains like a pro and disappears when the cameras switch off. He believes legacy is something you do, not something you stash. So when Benoit Blanc ticks his hat this winter and walks into another impossible room, remember, the real trick isn't solving the mystery on screen. It's solving the one off screen. How to keep working at the top of your game on your own terms with your life intact. In 2025, Daniel Craig has figured that out. And that might be the most impossible magic of all.